town feel with big time ideas. After all, you are entitled to Brad's opinion. Here's your host, Brad Allard.
Well, we're back again, despite all the rain. Y'all been getting rain where y'all are at?
Yes.
Summer Garcia was supposed to be on a trip, right? Is that right?
Yes, she was supposed to go to her family reunion in Leakey, Texas, which I guess is south. And
It's in the southeast.
it's flooded. All the roads to where she was going are closed. She's coming back home.
Well, good. She didn't need to be trying to fight that off. You know, you just had a family reunion on Zoom. Be less fighting that way. you know that kind of thing. You can mute the camera, and all that. Yeah. Family reunions, I love them. Anyway, and we have the education director. Introduce yourself, please.
My name is Jana Myers, and I'm the education director. So I am in charge of all of our parenting and prenatal classes and the boutique and the things that go along with that.
And we got the list right here. I'm going to read a few of these off in a few minutes about all the various courses. I mean, I'm looking at some of these. Wow. I mean, that's quite a varied lesson offering because it isn't just silly little things or whatever. I mean, it's important things. It isn't like how to change a diaper, which is important, but it's really more about how to take care of a child emotionally, mentally, etc., as opposed to just when to learn to feed them or something.
Right. And we also offer a lot of just life skills classes on budgeting and what that looks like and not getting in trouble with credit cards.
Yeah, I noticed that one here about importance of words and credit cards. I'm going to ask you about that one in particular because it's a learned skill not to let them get away from you.
Right.
I'm paranoid about credit cards, so I pay mine off every month. But it also means a great deal of discipline sometimes, which I didn't always have. But then when my kids were born, you think, well, I'm still going to stick to somewhat of a budget. Well, no, doctors want to be paid. The pharmacist wants to be paid. Wow, diapers. How many diapers you going through a day, kid?
Or they grow 3 inches in 3 months.
It was like it was impossible to try to keep up with all that because it was you had so many expenses that I think these young people probably should be aware of.
Yeah.
Anyway, but before we jump into all of that and also Christmas in July, let's talk about sponsors because they're always so excited. Our Place, of course. I was there Monday. Great food, great service as always. It really is a good place to go because they don't bug you. And you go there enough that you start seeing the staff. One thing I like about Our Place and Gina's is they have a very stable workforce. It isn't like today they're there, tomorrow they're gone. They've been there a while. They got a couple, I know some people have been there several years. And so that's always, to me, a good sign of a good place and well-run and good manager and all that other business. Now, trying to get this thing to share, doggone you. There you go. Also, Gina's Pizza, which reminds me, September 17th, put it on your schedule. That's the day we do the North Texas Giving Day. That's a big deal. Mm-hmm. And I already got him aware of it. And he says, yeah, sure, whatever. Now, he's real good about that. He really, he likes doing these kind of things for the community quite a bit. He's very generous about his time and whatnot, and so it's going to be a lot of fun. But I like to go there on Monday nights because there's a chess club there, and it's not just older folks; it's a lot of kids. A lot of kids are playing.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that's good. You know how to play chess?
No, but my son does. So I guess.
Yeah. Now your son's going to college next semester.
He is.
Where is it again?
He's going to Karis College in Colorado.
Right.
It's a Bible college.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to miss him. You're going to cry.
I'm probably going to do all of those things.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, my mama got a little teared up. My dad was like, move the car, son. I'm late. Anyway, so my dad was real sentimental like that.
Yeah.
Also, thank you to Old Pro Roofing and John Williams. He's been kind of busy, because it's been raining. And I'm watching it rain. I'm hearing it rain. And I have no worries because my roof was inspected last June, about 6 weeks ago by John. He said, you're good to go for another year at least, and unless you have hail damage. 817-734-2756. Yesterday at our B&I meeting, he stressed the idea that if you wait too long, the longer you wait on trying to repair your roof when it's already damaged, the more the insurance company is going to give you trouble. In fact, if it's deemed as old damage, they're going to give you all sorts of problems about getting covered. So it's really important to have your roof inspected once a year. Not just because you want to avoid the damage, but you want to set it, make a case that if you do have damage in the next year, this is an old damage. So again, 817-734-2756. And my buddy Jeff Kelly over at the Worthington Agency, 817-781-0546, or Jeff at jeffkellyrealty.com. He is a closing machine this summer. You know, you hear about things slowing down in other parts of the country. Not here. They're still selling homes. And it's a good thing. 817-781-0546. Also, my friend Ron Lewis, you ever talked to him before?
I have.
Okay, good. And I see his brother at the mailbox for some reason. We get our mail in town. But anyway, the Burleson News Express comes out once a week. They had really good articles. And a lot of times about civic events, about the parade and all this. Have you been able to talk to him about Christmas in July yet?
You know what? I didn't even think. I mean, I've talked to him. I didn't even think about bringing this up with him, but that would have been a good thing. I'm going to have to put it on my list of things to do for events.
Well, he could do that. He has like a section of the newspaper where it's about upcoming events, ongoing events, what's going on in the city, things of that nature. So the Burleson News Express, and also our friends True Climate, Will Cobb and his sister Emily Cobb, 682-244-2019. Again, like your roof, you should check your air conditioner out every year because you don't want it to go out. And you want to catch it. If you see some damage coming, you want to catch it before it's July, even though this has been not as hot as some Julys we've had. Of course, it's supposed to be 101 on Monday.
Yeah, next week they say that we're going to get in the triple digits.
Bake our brains out. That's okay. So I'd say stay inside, keep cool, and watch the podcast next week, right?
Yeah.
Watch Mr. Travis Neighborhood. I got Victoria on Monday and Harvest House on Tuesday, so
It's going to be a good week.
Good week. Anything else? I don't think there's anything else. Okay. I want to talk about your classes before we talk about Christmas in July, but I'm looking at this list, and it's pretty impressive. I mean, it really is. It's not just, how to clothe your kid or whatever else. I want to go to this first one because it did catch my eye about importance of words and credit cards. What do you teach in that lesson?
So the importance of words is just really talking about, positive affirmations and things with your kids and being careful with what you say, and not just to your kids, but what they're hearing you say to others, because they're soaking in everything that you're saying. You don't even realize it, but when they start repeating stuff back to you or saying things and you're like, oh, that sounds just like me, it's just knowing that they're always there, they're always listening.
You got that right.
And you're that example for them. And then the credit card one is just being responsible and learning to be responsible. Everybody has emergencies and everybody has things that come up. But like you said earlier, credit cards can get out of hand so quickly.
Yeah,
and
the
we want to
interest
make
is
sure
amazingly high, particularly for probably majority of your clients are young people. I mean, I would think even if you have clients in their 30s, they may have gone past this point. But you get some young mother, 19, young father, 20, or something like that, and they have no idea what's coming financially.
I can remember when I was starting college and I walked through the student union and it was just like they literally were just handing them out.
Oh, yeah.
It was so easy to get them, and you're like, I have no income, but though they can get in trouble so quickly with those. So just helping them understand that.
What school did you go to?
I went to North Texas.
North Texas.
So I did my bachelor's and my master's.
That's
there.
good. I agree, though, because, when I was getting out of college and my kids were getting out of college, they were getting stacks in the mail of credit card offers. And I get them still because, my credit's good, but I don't well, thank you. But that's a good lesson for them to learn.
Especially, like you said, helping them understand the interest rates, because a lot of people don't really understand. They see that, they don't think about it. But then when they start not paying things off and then they're getting those interest rates on top of that, it just builds up so quickly. So we just want them to be aware and have that knowledge and know they're not a bad thing. They don't have to be a bad thing, but you need to use them responsibly.
Well, I could think of a couple examples. I don't think my kids want to be used as examples, so I could think of a couple others. But, you get a new credit card. You go to Chili's and, it's on me or whatever. Or, hey, I can buy that shirt. And then you get the bill and like, wow, how did this happen? I don't have to pay the whole thing. I could just pay, 10% of it. Oh, please do, the credit cards are saying. And so it can be a real trap. And so I'm glad you're teaching them these things. I hope they take it to heart. But also you have things about CPR with the child. Hopefully that'll never happen. But Importance of bonding and infant expectations. I didn't know infants had expectations. How do you ask them that question? What are your expectations?
It's more of the expectations of taking care of them.
Oh, okay. I was thinking, wow, at
What
6
to
months old,
expect
they were
from your-
expressing.
What to expect at certain times through their growth and their development.
So they're not saying to you, Mother, my needs are not being met.
Right.
I'm not
Well-
being emotionally fulfilled.
Absolutely.
They're probably saying
Yeah, they're
it. You
saying
just
that in
don't
all kinds of
understand.
ways with their tears and everything else that happens.
Newborn sickness and teething time. It brings back a lot of memories. I could tell you that. We had the little teething rings you put in the refrigerator or the freezer, and so they could chew on while they're teething, and it kind of numb their gums a little bit. But or you'd have that little goo that you put on, a little Orajel type stuff. But that only was temporary at best.
Yeah.
It would keep them awake at night.
I spent the last week in Florida with my son and my daughter-in-law and my grandbaby girl, and she's right in the throes of teething. So yeah, all of those things. We were rubbing the gums, and she was chewing on her gums, chewing on her clothes, and so
Well,
yeah,
that's-
teething can be because she's a wonderful baby, but it's like you knew something was up because she was not happy a lot of times.
Here's another one I definitely could have used: strong-willed children and bonding with your toddler, because my son is strong-willed then and now. And there was, as you get older, it didn't like it goes away,
Right.
but that is something. I mean, it can be a patience and enduring kind of experience sometimes. I'm sure for both. Let's see.
And one of the things
Go
too that I
ahead.
love about our classes is when you bring that up is it's just that community that's being built within those classes, and just helping parents see that they're not in this alone. They're not the only ones that are struggling with strong-willed kids. And so you've got that variety of parents that are at different stages and different ages that talk to each other, and they're able to encourage each other and be like, hey girl, I've been through this, or Dad, you're going to make it, and help give them examples, that they've used that have been able to work with their kids.
What I tell people, who, particularly former students that have strong-willed children, is that I know it's frustrating and irritating and all that, but it will pay off for them because, like my son is strong-willed, and it's helped him get through some things, and,
Absolutely.
and help him create the career he has and things of that nature. And rather than just letting it roll over him, he's very strong-willed. Now, there is the other side where there's some head knocking, particularly the teenage years, but that's out of your range, so you don't have to worry about that. You're like,
We're hoping to build those foundations that are going to help them get to those teenage years and
Yeah.
through those teenage years.
well, now you have 4 kids, right?
I have 4 kids.
And
yes.
I'm trying to picture in my mind you and your children never having conflict, but I'm sure there's some. Well, I mean, seriously, I mean, who's going to give you a hard time? And then your husband, Chad, he's 9 feet tall. And so, but I'm sure
and a
there's,
former Marine.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one talks back to. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm sure there's some times.
Yeah. And I want to say, I think for me, when I went to school for children's ministry. So much of what I learned was child development. And a lot of the principles that we're teaching in these classes, I went to I learned in college classes or in ministry level classes. And the importance of words and how we communicate, how you discipline, like all of those. I mean, you watch not my mom ever, but you watched other parents who were like, stop being a brat.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, you're labeling your kids something now. Like, let's be intentional about the way we have the conversations. Of course, my kids, I took them to Walmart. My daughters, I took them to Walmart yesterday, and they fought all the way there and they fought all the way back, mostly picking on each other. But I was like, have y'all been nice to each other at all this summer? Is this what you've been doing? But yeah, I mean, kids are kids, people are people.
Well, and just because they come from the same set of parents doesn't mean the kids are going to be the same, because my children are different.
Mine are all completely different.
And I know your brother and sister, and they're
They are completely different.
They have a lot of different
from
personalities.
me, yes.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what my oldest builds video games. He's created a business building VR games. He would like to be on his computer, talking to his computer friends, building his computer things. My next daughter is a dancer, and the next one is a very competitive, very physical soccer player. Like, they're just all it's a whole.
all
And
over
then
this-
Judah's just happy to be around.
Yeah.
Judah just loves life.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a good job then. I mean, if you're able to encourage those activities, and we did that as well. And I think that's the biggest thing is if I want to give myself credit, I don't. There's mistakes I made. I wish I could take back, and obviously, and certain episodes or certain things I said, I wish I'd never been involved in. I think every parent can say that, but
For sure.
But one thing I will say, I never pressed my kids into like athletics. If they want to play, great.
Yeah.
We had one rule that they finish the season.
Yeah.
All right, don't quit in the middle. If you don't want to play next year, that's fine. But if if you're in the middle of the season, you're not going to quit. But other than that, if you don't want to play next year, that's fine. And so I didn't really try to press my failed athletic dreams upon my children, that kind of thing.
My mom was so athletic, and then me and my siblings are so not.
Yeah.
So she wanted a basketball player. She never. We're all too short for that.
I'm looking at you now. I can't see you dominating the paint.
No,
but as they
that
say,
wasn't gonna
basketball.
be it.
Yeah, basketball definitely was not your.
It was not.
And we look at a couple more classes here, and some of them are practical about like car safety and things like that. The one also caught my attention was postpartum depression and mommy nutrition. Do y'all deal with that a lot?
Absolutely. And the one thing that that I am so thankful and grateful for, because I know like when I was pregnant, 30 something years ago, you just didn't talk about that. Postpartum depression, you didn't talk about being sad or struggling. And we've come so far with mental health and just the facts about that just letting moms know other people are feeling these. You're not isolated. You don't have to isolate yourself. There are things that you can do to help with that. And just being able to encourage them through it and stuff is what's so important.
Yeah, it is tough. And like you mentioned in my generation, I'm the generation behind your head. What do you want to say? I'm 64 now. I'll just put it that way. You didn't talk about any of those emotional or mental health issues. And, and when people start talking about postpartum, they almost are making it sound like you're making things up. It's almost like, oh, well, you just need attention or something like that. But no,
of course you're sad, you're tired, the baby, there's just a lot of excuses.
But no, it's a real thing. I think every woman probably after that emotional, physical experience is going to have a small amount of time at least, even if they're perfectly mentally fine, they're still going to have a period of needing to recover other than just get back on, your duties the next day. That's one reason why the liberal side of me says we need some decent paternity leave in our society, because the first couple of months are pretty important. But that's a political comment and whatever else. But it's still it's vital,
right?
Not just for the baby.
Yeah.
To expect a woman to have a birth on Thursday, be back to work on the next Thursday or something like that. That's just not.
It's not realistic at all.
Not rational.
And the one good thing, too, about the class that it talks about, there's baby blues and then there's postpartum depression, that there is kind of a difference. Everyone's going to experience baby blues.
What is that?
That's just the initial time, like you were talking about, after giving birth, when, you're tired, you're recovering, all of those things. It's just that, the emotions and things that go along with that. Whereas, postpartum depression is going to be something that's ongoing. It's not just going to be a couple weeks. It's going to be something that's a daily thing, that you're feeling those emotions on a daily basis for, more than a couple of weeks, 3 weeks. And it's just so important to let them know, hey, if this is happening to you, just talk to your doctor, because there are things, even if you're breastfeeding, there are things that you can do and some strategies and things to help you.
Do you encourage that, breastfeeding?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. In our prenatal class, we have a breastfeeding class that we do that's totally on breastfeeding. But I also do a bottle feeding class, because I also want parents to understand breastfeeding's not going to work out for everyone.
Well,
and
you're
so
right.
you don't want to feel like you're a failure if you're having to bottle feed.
Well, there's so much of that, though. When you talk about you don't want to feel like a failure, there's every mother wants to feel like they're the greatest mother of all time. And if they're not, then something's wrong with them.
And with Facebook and social media and all of that, you've got that comparison syndrome that happens so quickly.
Yeah.
And so, I always tell them in my classes, because I teach the prenatal class, and I always tell them, number one, fed is best. Whatever's going to work best for your family, work best for your baby. The only thing that's important is that baby's getting fed and nourished. And so whatever that looks like for you and looks like for your family is exactly what it needs to be.
And then you see, on Facebook and other social media, my 3-year-old 3-year-old has already composed his first opera, and and that kind of thing, or my 4-year-old is getting drafted by the Knicks, and they're like, what's the matter with my kid? There's nothing wrong with that kid, and there's probably a lot of this is BS anyway.
But nobody shares the up all night crying and all of that on social media. They just share all the pretty pictures.
There is one that said, one young lady just had a baby, a former student, and she has pictures of her son now, and it's a real beautiful little boy. And he says he makes it worth getting up in the middle of the night all the time, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So so at least we're getting a realistic view. When my son was born in particular, he would sleep a lot, but he'd wake up every night about 2:00. And Robin, my wife, is like kicked me out of the bed. And so it was interesting because you watch TV in the middle of the night, you get to watch the news that, you don't see other places. So I always thought that was pretty interesting. But anyway.
Only you would go, well, being up in the middle of the night, I get to watch the news. That's a very Mr. Allard statement.
I'm preparing for my students. It was right in the middle of it. I remember the 92 election. So there was a lot of information going on. No, it is. And I still do that. I don't watch the news as much. I do a lot more reading of the news.
Yes.
And I'm trying to wean myself off that, to tell you the truth. It's not good for me.
Yeah.
But whatever. Well, anyway, let's talk about some of these stats here. Class attendance, weekly parenting classes offered, 7. So these aren't offered every day, these classes. I mean, this long list, are they?
No, we typically, I rotate those from month to month. So we typically offer about 25 of the options off of that list. 20 to 25 is what we offer typically in a month. Mm-hmm. And so,
and they last about an hour and a half, you say?
About an hour and a half. And then our classes, like I said, we have 7. We have those at various times in the day so that right now we have 2 evening classes. I'm hoping to add a third because we do have people, especially a lot of our dads that are taking classes with us that need those evening times. But we have them throughout the week at different times.
So what I'm reading here, the 7 parenting classes are separate from this list of specialized classes.
No, those are the topics that we
those
teach
are the topics.
during those
I get it.
parenting
Okay,
classes.
I get it now.
So every week there will be 7 from that
I get
list.
it.
Seven
And then-
pairs or options, yeah.
Who does the teaching?
I have wonderful, wonderful instructors, both young moms themselves that teach for me, and then I have one that stepped in because one of my instructors just had a baby herself, and so she was off with her baby for a time. So I had another person that jumped in and helped with that, and that's the one I'm hoping will help us offer another evening class as well.
Are these volunteers or are they trained professionals, went to college for this kind of thing?
I think they both have a degree, but they're just people who have a love for it. Actually, one of ours was a previous client that began teaching classes for us.
Well, I'm just saying, my degree's in Greek poetry, but I want to teach parenting classes. That's not what we're talking about here.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, but it's well worth the time, and also if they attend these things, they get those baby bucks, right?
Yes.
They get $10 for our parenting classes. They get $10 in baby bucks and a full size package of diapers for each class that they take.
Well, this is a distribution of 638. That's on per week, right?
That's monthly.
Monthly, okay. Yeah. But I know you go through diapers. You mentioned the last time. No, it was summer. I think at the B&I meeting, she was doing a presentation. It's like 194,000.
Yes.
Diapers.
Last year, 194,000 diapers is how many we gave out. And that's between the classes. When they come for these parenting classes, they get a pack of diapers every time. So they can earn up to 2 packs of diapers a week.
Is that which lasts them about, 12 hours?
Well, hopefully the 2 packs will last you the week. But mom and dad can take those classes. We have fatherhood classes. I don't know if they're on this list.
I did not put the fatherhood.
But I'd love to talk more about that later. But yeah, so mom and dad can take those classes, and dads can take these classes too. Yes, but we do have some specific for fathers, because in that list, there's some that are specific to moms.
Well, like the breastfeeding class, I'm sure the father might
not need that quite as much. But where was? Oh, but then in the front of the house, we have material assistance. In August, we're going to be giving out, and I'll share some of that too. We're going to be giving out free diapers. We do that anyway. If people call us and need diapers, we're going to schedule an appointment, and they're going to be able to come in and get 2 packs of diapers and a few other odds and ends, some wipes maybe for them to take home. But a couple times a year, we do kind of some big pushes. And August 10th to the, I think, 28th, We're going to be, you can sign up, come in, or we'll have some offsite like the library. Come in for a quick 5-minute appointment, pick up your diapers. The goal of that ultimately for us, our mission in that is one, we want more people to have diapers, but we also want people to sign up for our classes. Because we do believe these are great. There's so many good things that our parents can learn, whether it is about words or it is about infant illness or whatever else. We know that these classes will build stronger families in our community. And so,
one thing I would stress also is, Operation Like Y'all's deal with quite often young women in difficult situations.
Yes.
All right. But, if you're just a, stable married couple, you could still take advantage of these classes.
Yes.
You don't have to have some sort of crisis going on. You could be, have the husband have a good job, the wife is fine, that they're doing good, but but they don't have to be like
well, and like you said, some people may have degrees in Greek literature or whatever, but they don't have degrees in child development. And there's some basic information that maybe you don't know because that's not, you're a really intelligent, smart person who's doing great things, but there's just some kids don't come with manuals, we do recommend the Bible, but it doesn't have like the developmental level of a 1-year-old in there.
Well, I just would stress to the listening audience and anybody who's going to listen to this later and whatnot that you don't have to be a single mom. You don't have to be a couple in financial distress. You could be a fine, stable, well-adjusted family. But everybody could use these lessons.
Absolutely.
I surely could.
Absolutely.
And that, ultimately, that's our goal. We love giving out the diapers, and we love having the opportunity for them to have the bonus bucks and shop. But ultimately, we want them to become better parents and just love being parents. And just, I love to see when a mom and dad are taking a class together because it's like they've got that cohesiveness and they're learning together. They're learning the same information and they're sharing the same information. And so ultimately, we want parents just love being parents and just have strategies and toolboxes and things that are going to help them in their parenting journey.
And we've talked about this many times before, but one of the things that you have to kind of overcome is, if you're going to be a client, is you don't want to have some sort of a stigma attached to you. There is no stigma to try to be a better parent.
Right.
If I surely could have used these lessons when my son was, he was born, I was 30, my daughter, I was 33. And so, I'm a little older. I could use these lessons.
Yeah.
But I guess, you shouldn't get the idea that I'm taking parenting classes because I'm not a good parent. No, that's actually the opposite. You're a good parent by taking these classes.
Absolutely.
Our friend Rich Hooper's jumping in. Hey, Megan, we love Next Step Women's Center.
Yes, Rich and 88.3 have been talking about the toy drive that we're going to talk about in a minute. They have a bin out there at the studio. We love them.
Yeah, he's very
Rich.
supportive of all these kind of things.
Yes.
But I just want to finish up on that point is like, I would congratulate anybody that would take these classes, not look at them as like, well, you must be deficient in a certain area, therefore that's why you're taking a class. That's nuts. You're taking it because you don't want to be deficient in that area, and that's to your credit. And so I just think a lot of people think when you talk about Next Step, you talk about other assistance type programs like y'all's. They get, if they're not aware of them very much, they get certain stereotypes in their head which are totally false. So I'm glad that you're able to come on here and talk about it and whatnot. So let's finish off this other sheet here. Just see what we got. Items sold in the boutique. You say sold. Could I walk in there?
No.
All right.
In fact, she has something to show you. The only kind of
this is the only kind of currency
what we
that is
sell for
accepted
here
in the boutique.
Okay.
Our lovely little handmade, we call it our mock Monopoly money.
Yes.
But no, you can't walk in off the street. And it's so funny because we'll have our moms that come in and maybe grandma's visiting or something. And she's like, well, can I just buy this for her? And we're like, no, unfortunately, this is only with our bonus bucks.
Okay. So that's kind of what I thought, but it just,
and that just tells you the magnitude of what, when we talk about the Christmas in July and the things, that's 734 items. That's in a month.
Yeah.
That have gone out our doors.
Well, they probably, to kind of give them a benefit of the doubt, they probably think they're helping you out by buying a toy from that boutique, but y'all are not really open to the public. So if they want to do that, they got Rachel's Hope for that, do they not?
Yes, and Rachel's Hope takes bonus bucks. They can earn those bonus bucks and go shop at Rachel's Hope. But at Rachel's Hope, I we all buy stuff, hopefully.
Well, I know my wife
we take
has.
real money over there.
Yeah, that's the real currency. That
Well,
happens over
but
there.
let's say that, I'm a father going through these classes at 30, and I got bonus bucks. Am I obligated to buy only baby-related stuff, or I want to go get a new shirt?
No, you can go anything at Rachel's Hope. You can go buy because it is there for the community, and we want everyone to be able to use it. But also, maybe Dad does need a new shirt for his job interview, or for to have
Or a new pair of shoes.
You spent all your money on whatever like the car seat, and so. But now you need other things, or if they need dishes, or if whatever's over there. Right now, I think they still have some Christmas. They put out some Christmas stuff for Christmas in July.
Lord
So you
have
could go
mercy.
do some Christmas
So you can
decoration
go-
shopping there at Rachel's right now.
Right now, you can go get a couple of little things to prepare for Christmas with your bonus bucks, or if she needs a purse, or shoes or whatever else, they can use their bonus bucks on whatever they want to over there. There are some limitations about how much they spend in one. Like if they've saved up all their baby bucks, they can't come clean Rachel's Hope out.
Yeah.
But so there's a little, but there's no restriction on what they're allowed to get over there.
My wife likes to go to thrift shops. She's been in your Rachel's Hope. She's been in the Harvest House resale and all this
Yes.
stuff. And she's found some stuff in there that are quality. I mean,
Yes.
we shouldn't think that these are people that are dumping junk on y'all. They're not. I took some shirts that were perfectly fine. They shrunk on me. That's why I'm going to go with that.
That's exactly what happened.
They
Yeah.
shrunk on me, and and I assume they were sold pretty quickly. And the kids are into thrifting. At least they were when I
Yes.
was teaching.
Oh,
high
my
school.
daughter's big in thrifting.
Yeah, but Robin, she goes to state sales. She'll go to this, and she'll say, "I saved you all this money." Oh, really? You spent $200 today. You saved me money.
Yeah, we do
And
say that.
that's everything in our boutique is brand new in the boutique, and so
Right. So you don't. If they want to bring used toys, go to Rachel's.
Right, we'll send them
Exactly.
to Rachel's.
Right.
But with the boutique thing that's unique is we've really tried to establish a real shopping experience for them. I mean, if you walk in, if you come see the boutique, you see it looks like you're shopping at a store. We've even created our own little steps boutique labels that go on the clothes because we want these moms to have that. They've taken the classes, they've taken the time to do that, and we want them to have a real good shopping experience when they come in. And we put things in cute little brown paper bags with our little. So we do the cutesy things too.
Yeah, of course.
And that's one of the things I love because we have so many of our moms, that we'll talk to them and they're like, this is how I contribute to my family. They're stay-at-home moms, but they're able to take these classes, and because of that, they're able to provide diapers, they're able to provide bottles, they're able to provide clothes and things like that, and that just gives them that empowerment to say, hey, I'm doing my part to help out my family.
And I think a lot of other similar type of outreach programs like Promises and Harvest House, they have adopted the empowerment idea, self-shopping as opposed to here's a bag of groceries.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I know our friends at the House of Hope, which I'll have on the show again pretty soon, they stress that kind of empowerment idea that we're not just handing you things. You have some autonomy in the choices you're making, whatever else. Now, these classes you say are mostly at night, but are they in the day as well?
No, we have 5 of our classes happen during the day. On Mondays, we have a 10 o'clock and a 1 o'clock. On Tuesdays, we have a 5 o'clock evening class. Wednesday, we have a 10 o'clock and a 1 o'clock. Thursday, we have a 7 p.m. evening class. And then on Fridays, we have a 1 o'clock class. And that's our typical schedule. Now, it varies sometimes depending on if my instructors are on vacation, we're having to add different times. Or sometimes we have weeks that maybe we're only offering 5 classes instead of 7.
Yeah. Well, and if they want to know what's going on this weekend, check your website out, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, I know that we have fatherhood classes. We have one that's called Dr. Dad, and it's like if you're about to be a dad. It'd be like the equivalent of kind of a prenatal for a woman, but like it's what you need to establish healthy boundary or just healthy habits to be a dad. And then we have Healthy Dad, which is kind of the next level of that. Now you're a dad. Here's what's next. And I know both of those have some spiritual content in them, but we do have a couple of classes, a couple of volunteers who teach dad classes that are more practical like this. But
there's like classes that are specific to fathers
Yeah.
on, how to discipline being a father. There's classes that are like, how do you support your wife through pregnancy or through parenting. And so they are specific to dads. And so those, when we offer those, are typically offered on a Thursday evening as well.
Well, again, something I could have used, but I'm just, as far as all these things that you're offering, it's just incredible, really, because I can't think of any other institution that does this. I know the schools do a little routine in their child development classes and whatever else. And I remember going through something similar when I was in high school, and we talked about our feelings and all this other stuff. But none of us looked at it as parent preparation.
Right.
We looked at it as a blow-off class.
Yep.
And that's
So to be honest, we thought, and the teachers usually were younger and better looking, and so.
What's so important to me about adding those fatherhood classes in is we can teach as moms, we can women, we can teach them all the basics. We can teach them about potty training. We can teach them about all those things, but we can't teach them how to be a dad and what that means as a man to be a dad. So having a man teaching those classes for these fathers has just been such a wonderful experience to be able to give that opportunity.
Speaking of dads, I should ask you this. Josh Miller has moved on, right?
Yeah, he's at Movement City. I don't remember his exact role, even though we've talked about it
It's
a bunch.
ministry, right?
But it is ministry. He was like, I think youth ministry and connections ministry is what he's doing over there. I've known Josh and Laura a long time. And even when he was really excited about coming to Next Step, I was like, you sure you're going to be able to stay out of church ministry that long? Like, you sure that's... And I always had doubts that he would stick around longer than he did, but because he's a church ministry guy. Our new men's fatherhood program director is Daniel Bianchi. He is with us part-time, and he is still at Victory Family as a children's pastor. So he does just part-time children's ministry over there, and then he's with us 3 days a week.
That's just right down the street, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Josh, did they send you anything to put on the screen? What do you got here?
Yes, indeed.
All right.
Christmas in July
So let's talk about
flyer.
that.
Yes.
All right. So what's this all about?
So in July, in the past, we've had like a one-day event, and we kind of, people would send more toys than would show up to that event. So we're just doing it out in the community all month long or online, our Christmas in July. This is helping to stock the boutique. Summer is a little bit of we're good, but it's a little bit of a donation slump. And this is our hope to kind of boost our boutique donations. Like she said, we 734 items a month leave the boutique. And we do have a little budget for that. We're able to shop a little bit for that. But the bulk of what needs to go into the boutique needs to be from donations. And we have churches like First Baptist in May who do a big Mother's Day drive, and that helps us so much. And then we have a few other churches here and there, but July, we really want to ask the community to donate some baby and toddler toys and baby and toddler clothing.
What kind of toys are you looking for?
We're looking for anything that looks like something for 3 and under. There's usually an aisle at Walmart or Target where it's like, these are the baby items. Anything in those items. We love play mats. We love little things they can hold in their hands, teethers, different things. We also have on our website, if you go to nextstepheroes.com/give, scroll to the bottom, our Amazon wish list is right there. And I will put it in the comments of this later. But you can go to that wish list and you can click the buttons and they'll send it straight to us. You don't even have to stop by. But right now, if you go to, we have several places. I'm just going to list them real fast. First National Bank of Burleson here on Alsbury, Grandview Bank in Burleson, the Liability Shop in Old Town, Barcross Cowboy Church, Pinnacle Bank on Alsbury, Trinity Chiropractic, and at Art Brooks, State Farm, and then, of course, 88.3 The Journey. You can drop a baby toy in any of those bins or at Next Step. We're right by Exxon and Chicken Express. I almost said Chick-fil-A. We're not by Chick-fil-A. Chicken Express. But we need all the toys we can get. My goal is to get us to 500, but even that 500 is not really going to get us through a month. Like, we need as many as we can get.
Another great thing is just toiletries, baby soaps, and
shampoos.
things like that. Shampoos, or those go out the door a lot.
They do. And Cheyenne at HEB has occasionally dropped by a handful of those baby soap items and
diaper creams
for them.
Yeah,
but those
they're
are
great with
important too. Yeah.
Yeah, you can go to Dollar General and pick up a bunch.
Yes, you can.
Speaking of toys, when I was buying toys for my children at this age we're talking about, I like them to be able to handle, manipulate things as opposed to sit and get or whatever.
Yes.
Books are great, but that is interactive with the mind. But I just didn't want them to, like a video game. I just didn't want to.
Yeah. Well, and screen time is such a huge thing right now, and that like the more that children can play is the work of a child. Play is the work of a baby and infant. Being able to touch things, being able to roll a ball, being able to manipulate. So the more, I mean, you don't want to have a ton of. We're not doing tiny things, but the more there is to do on one toy, the
just
better.
that imaginative play, trucks, cars,
Yeah.
baby dolls.
Oh, yeah. Like, and it may, and you know what it lead to? Hayden had a lot of building type toys. And Thomas the Tank Engine. That was it's a little old maybe for a toddler, but it's great for an 8-year-old or 9-year-old. And and Sarah also had stuff to do as opposed to just we wanted them to engage their imaginations and also create things. And so speaking on that, Josh, if you would please, we'd like to contribute to your gift, to your program. Yeah.
Thank you.
On behalf of Josh and I, Mr. Allard's Neighborhood, and my wife Robin, there you go. Go ahead and open it up. It's okay.
Let's check it out.
Yeah,
this is perfect.
Yeah.
Wooden blocks.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah, the wooden blocks and the Duplo like mega blocks.
The mega blocks
the
that
bigger
are big.
ones.
These
Not
are all
ones,
great.
go
That's
so
all.
fast.
That's what Hayden has was Duplo. And, and then he transitioned some to Lego, but mostly he did other manipulative toys, if you will. Now he's an engineer, so maybe they had some connection, but.
Probably.
But I always liked blocks, and I think the toys that were special to me when I was a kid, Lincoln Logs.
Yeah.
And
I liked Lincoln Logs.
We actually had some Lincoln Logs come in not too long ago that we had out right before Christmas.
Yeah, and also Tinker Toys. I don't know if they even make those anymore. They come in like a big cylinder and had all sorts of stuff. And
I think they still make them. One of the big things now too is like the magnets. They're like
the
they look
Magna
kind of like the
blocks.
blocks,
Yes,
but they have
they stick
magnets and
together.
they kind of stick together. That's
We
another
love some
thing
Magna
that's-
blocks in my house.
those kind of things are pretty important at that age, aren't they? To
Yes.
develop, and I know you're talking about some of the other developmental toys, like putting the rings, stacking rings and stuff like that. I remember those.
The shape. Can't talk the shape.
You'll get it.
Shape sorter. Yes.
Sorters. Those are a big thing too.
Yeah, I mean, with all of it, stacking there's cognitive development and there's fine motor development and knocking it over. You get a little gross motor and
those are the things again we talk
cause and
about in
effect.
class too, or what are
Yeah.
some of the things that are helpful for your babies at these developmental stages and what you can do, the imaginative play and the things that you can do with them.
What I'd like to do when I was a kid is make my own miniature Six Flags, all right? And I'd get my Lincoln Logs, and I'd get the Tinker Toys, and I'd get the little plastic train set, and I'd do this, that, and, and get my little plastic animals, and, and try, I'm like 6 years old, trying to do that. I thought, every time we drove by Six Flags, I thought, there's got to be a hole in the fence somewhere. I don't want to, it's like a sneak in. Yeah. But, I know it's a long time ago, but these are, hopefully, these aren't
these
too
are
old.
amazing.
Oh, no,
no,
these
these
are
are
perfect.
great.
Well, the other stuff were just like they had plastic trucks and cars,
Yes.
and you don't want the little cars, not like Hot Wheels.
No, the bigger
we
ones.
try really hard to stay away from the things that, and they say most things will say it on the box, the choking hazard things, just
Yeah.
because we do have the younger ones that we're looking at.
Yeah, and so
We do have a guy who makes wooden cars for our boutique. So everything in our boutique is new or handmade, and he makes those wooden cars handmade for our kids, and I think that's so cool to have classic toys, because a lot of our kids just wouldn't have them without this, and they are important. They do matter more than an iPad does.
well, and everybody thinks of also toys at Christmas time. That's why you and Hallmark have the Christmas in July, which. If I wasn't watching like the soccer or whatever else, that was what was on. My wife has like 3 shows she watches: the Hallmark Channel, the Antique Roadshow, and she's like, which drives me crazy because here I found this old picture and it's an unknown Picasso. It's worth millions of dollars, that kind of thing. Oh, it's something my grandpa
Makes
had.
you want to start going to look in closets.
Yeah, right. And also she likes those remodeling shows, and then she gets these ideas.
Yeah, the ideas are dangerous.
Yes, they are.
I'll say I've watched way more soccer than Hallmark this summer.
Well, your daughter plays, right? She has an interest.
Yes, and I've never cared about sports ever. I mean, it's enough to be a Texan and tell my dad go Cowboys or whatever. But yeah, so we're way into soccer.
Is she going to do that in high school?
Well, she's going into 8th grade. We don't know. She's playing club. We'll see what happens. She is.
It's pretty. They take it pretty seriously at that club level, don't they?
Yeah. It's pretty serious. You know, you remember Mindy Gibson?
Yeah, I do.
Her little
sure
brother Joel is Anna's coach right now.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Small world.
Yeah.
He said to me when she first, because she's been on his team a year. He said when she first started, he goes, it's so weird to look at her to see like your face on an athletic body.
You're like, I'm not sure if that's a compliment or what.
No kidding.
No, it's true though. But
Oh, well, and so if they want to participate in this, they obviously
Yes.
they could do,
yeah, they can drop
this.
it by any of the items, and you can go to our Next Step Heroes Facebook page, and you'll find information. You can go to nextstephheroes.com/give and scroll to the bottom. Our Amazon wish list is always there, but especially for this, we love seeing those Amazon packages come in, and you can just go to Walmart and drop
it is
it
literally
by
like Christmas.
anywhere. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Just open up and you don't know what you're getting. So
Yeah.
it's so
Well,
awesome.
it is amazing how important toys are to kids. Because my friend Jack Matson and his Marine regiment does the Toys for
Yes.
Tots. You know Jack?
Yes.
Yeah, you do from probably
Everything,
other networking
yes.
groups. Right? And he's a big tough guy, but he gets choked up when he starts talking about Toys for Tots because a lot of kids they are toy deficient, and you think
Yeah.
is that a really big deal? It is a big deal.
It is though. And right now, if you go to Next Step Heroes on Instagram or Facebook, I have a couple of posts that are talking about the importance of play. So if you're curious about it, I have it's not the most detailed information, but each post does share a little bit about why toys matter to the development of our kids. And if we're going to complain about how much our kids are on screens and how they don't have critical thinking skills and whatever we're complaining about the next generation, because we're all going to complain about the next generation about something. That's just what happens. But this is that moment to help the next generation have cognitive skills, have critical thinking skills, be developmentally growing in a healthy way. Like this is that thing that we should be doing to help our kids.
In the books as well, we do the board books since we have the little ones. But we have. Of course, that's my elementary education background. I love it when I see the corduroys and the
Yes.
Dr. Seuss books and the things like that. So that when you see the Christmas in July, you see the nod to my love of reading and love of elementary.
We ran across a bunch of old books like that, board books, hardback kind of things, and I think we donated them to Rachel's Hope because my kids don't have any kids, and I don't know when they are, and I'm not pressuring them to have any, but it would brought back a lot of memories of reading those
Yes.
books, watching them read it. But another thing about like this particular gift, you'd be interacting with other people instead of being isolated on a screen.
You can do it together for sure.
Playing games with guys in India, whatever, is not an interactive experience.
No, it's not.
And so, but because I can remember vividly my son and my nephews that were roughly his age playing with this kind of stuff, Duplos and Thomas and all this other stuff. And Sarah, she has a couple of younger female cousins, and they would play together with some of this stuff. But some kid has this in his house, whatever, and has a little buddy over or whatever, and mom say, "Here, go play with the blocks while I go take my sedative." But whatever, so it's that I'm concerned about the generations behind me about this, and you are too, I'm sure, is that there's more and more isolated.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother conversation for a whole other show.
It definitely is a whole other conversation.
Yeah, but I do get concerned about them siloing themselves off and and then get AI involved and all this other stuff and whatnot. It's concerning. So, I think some people are recognizing how important play is at this age and how important play is even at the older ages, physical play, not just, shooting stuff or, Mario Karting or whatever else you got going on.
But moving your actual body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as far as any other nonprofits, I'm going to just segue just for a moment, but I was at Promises last week, and they have a full house. And fortunately, they're keeping up, but it is a weekly push to keep up with the demand. So if you're out there and you're out going to go grocery shopping, buy a few extra cans or whatever, particularly kid stuff. I asked Promises, and I'm sure Harvest House will tell me this next Tuesday as well. Since the kids are home, make it kid-friendly, kid-accessible, you know, with the pull top on the SpaghettiOs, not the, you know, have to mess around with the can opener.
Can opener,
and that kind of stuff. And also...
I'll say my kids make those microwavable macaroni and cheeses. Those kinds of things go far in my house. Or go fast in my house.
Yes,
That's what I
individual
mean.
cereals, those little things, those are a great thing for kids.
Well, those little box cereals, those are usually what I was told is a lot of the parents will get those for small kids as snacks because they're really not enough for a teenage
for
boy.
a meal,
But they get them for like an afternoon snack. But I always, when I go help out, I want to make sure that I'm getting them something that isn't going to hurt them, like high sugar cereal or something like that. And so that's another thing. They always could use cereal. And, you know, and all these outfits have connections with food pantry, you know, like Tarrant County Food Bank, or some of the stores like H-E-B particularly is pretty generous. Sprouts is pretty generous. But the demand in the summertime is high because of the lack of the provided meals at school.
The kids are home,
Yeah. And so all three of these pantries, Harvest House, House of Hope, Promises, hey, you know, we need to, you know, pull together. And that's the one good thing about this community is that they really do.
Yes.
They really do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So y'all been around for 40 years, right?
Yes, this is our 40th year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're real excited.
Well, we're close on time, so I want y'all finish this out here. So tell us what we need to know.
Well, I think my biggest plug right now is to donate a toy. Donate a toy or a toiletry item for babies and toddlers. And you can go to our website. You can go to our social media to find out where to donate. Come to Next Step. Go to the link. We really need to stock our boutique this summer. And save the date. October 15th is our gala. And we're going to be
big 40-year
celebrating our 40-year anniversary. It's going to be a really good
and I know what
gala.
you're going to do to me. You're gonna sit me next to
the bonds.
The bonds.
Put you right by Lauren Bond.
Lauren with I can't say no to Lauren. You know.
Yeah.
Bless her heart. You know, it's you know, she ought to be working for you full time because you want to give a toy, don't you? And, you know, have 6. You know?
Well, and just thanking our community for what they do for us, and just the support that they do give us. You know, because we couldn't do it without them. You know.
Well, I know that y'all do tremendously good work. You know, when I started teaching high school, I was aware of that. What at the end it was called the Pregnancy Aid Center. But it wasn't until after a few years of teaching high school I saw some of your clients, you know, in my classrooms, and it was like, I wonder if other communities have this going on, and not all of them do. Not all of them do, and that's why I look forward to that September 17th show because I get to see all y'all interact with each other. I'm sure we'll have most of the same cast of characters, maybe a couple extra ones.
Yeah, it's always fun. I like that we get to listen, we get to have lunch together.
Yeah.
Like it's a good day.
Yeah.
Well, it just shows how everyone does work together, and you know, all of those ministries are so important to all of us.
Right.
And just working together is what's great.
And what I always notice is a complete lack of competition. You know, they don't look at $1 for them as not $1 for me or anything like that. Routine. Rich Hooper has guaranteed, if he's still listening, Rich, you're going to be there September 17th at Otto's, or Gina's rather, you know, make sure get the right place. So anyway, thank y'all for what you do. Really, y'all do great work, and it's one of my favorite ministries. And I can't imagine the number of moms, dads, and kids have been positively impacted over the 40 years y'all been doing this. I mean, you know, it's one of those things when, I guess when you're walking the streets of glory, as we say, right?
Yeah.
You'll find out then.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll come up to you and say that when it's your turn and you're in glory, and they'll come up to you and say, "You because you did this"?
I don't know.
We hope
that would be amazing, but I don't know. We'll
I don't know either. I don't know either.
You always hope that you have that impact that that makes the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh, thank you for everything.
Anytime.
All right, you got a busy week coming up. Or it's Friday. I mean, it's Friday tomorrow.
Honestly, no. Been a little slower this week. Let's hope. I think next week might be picking up.
Well,
but
like I mentioned earlier, I have Victoria Johnson on Monday, and I don't know how she's going to feel because she's a big Argentina soccer fan, and they're playing in the World Cup final Sunday. So
Is she a big Argentina fan?
Yeah, she's been to several of the World Cup games here.
Well, I knew she'd been. Oh, I guess she has been to the Argentina games.
And she has an Argentina jersey.
Yeah.
And so she'll either be in a state of despair or euphoric. I don't know.
We'll see.
And then also Amber and Kelly will be here for the Harvest House.
Yes, they're great.
They are.
You'll have a good time.
I always do. They're very personable and sweet and have a really good story. So
Yes.
it's a good show. I'm pretty booked up most of July, which is unusual for me because I usually don't book up that much in the summer because vacations, etc. Yeah, I pretty much are booked up until mid-August. That's a good thing. Well, anyway, thank y'all for what you do. Thank y'all for listening. Share it with your friends. Obviously, this is an important event. We want to make sure that there's not any empty shelves because it sends a message sometimes. If you walk in and you see the shelves totally full, it sends a great message to the people that use your services, that they are supported.
That they are supported, yep.
All right. And we'll see y'all next Monday.